Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Minnesota Vikings and explaining why I think they can be a playoff team in the upcoming season in 2021. But before getting to that topic, question for those of you viewing, I want to hear from you guys, especially you Vikings fans. Comment down below, who do you want to see the Minnesota Vikings take in the first round of the upcoming draft? They have the 14th overall pick, so comment down below your thoughts on who you want to see them target. But getting straight into the topic, the Minnesota Vikings, I truly love this team. I'm not a Minnesota Vikings fan, but overall, I do like what they are building here, and I've always been a big fan of Kirk Cousins. And overall, the foundation of this team is a playoff roster on paper. On the field will be different. Seeing how the new additions, such as Xavier Woods, and Darwin Cook will be on this new team if they will stay healthy. But on paper, I seriously think this is a playoff roster. There's much more to consider, but looking at him, Kirk Cousins, like I said, I'm a big fan of him, but unbiasedly, he's right around an above average top half quarterback in the league. He's not top 10, but he's not the back 16 in the NFL. I think he's right around a top 15, top 16 quarterback in the league, and Kirk Cousins can win games. What happens on a Sunday night, Monday night primetime game, that's a different conversation, but overall, Kirk Cousins, I'm a fan of him, and I think he could get the job done. Darwin Cook, depending if you're a Vikings fan or if you're just an NFL fan, he's your top 2 running back in the league, top 3, top 5, whatever he is. At worst, I think Darwin Cook's probably a top 5 running back in the league, and that's going to take your worst critic. He's got some tough guys that climb to be the number 1. Derrick Henry, healthy Saquon, healthy Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, and Nick Chubb. There's great guys out there, but I do think Darwin Cook makes the top 5, maybe even top 3 spot. Receiving core, Justin Jefferson, easily the best receiver in the rookie wide receiver class in 2020. Adam Thielen, reliable hands. They believe in Irv Smith after releasing Kyle Rudolph, so the receiving core is pretty set. Running back, top 5 in the league. Kirk Cousins, top half quarterback in the league. Offensive line is another thing. It's not the best by any means, especially with I don't want to say immobile Kirk Cousins, but he sure as heck is not mobile by any means. But in the upcoming draft, having the 14th pick, they could go offensive line, maybe interior with Elijah Vera Tucker, maybe a tackle Christian Darrisaw Falls. They can address offensive line in the draft to give Kirk Cousins the top guy he might need to give him the extra split second in the pocket. And of course, moving to the other side of the football, the defense, this is where the magic will happen for the Vikings. Offense, like I said, it's pretty stout, but the defense, adding Darwin Cook to help out Daniel Hunter in the pass rush and get the run game, or stopping the run game, will be huge for this team. Mike Zimmer, the head coach, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he is defensive-minded, and with this defense, I think he can make some magic happen. Linebacker core might be one of the best in the NFL. Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr, when healthy, that is like I said, might be the best dual linebacker core in the NFL. There's some guys out there, such as Devin White and Levante David, for the Vikings to kind of compare to. But that aside, same thing, great linebacker core. In the secondary, keeping Harrison Smith, adding Xavier Woods, and adding Patrick Peterson. Kind of left him out in the beginning of the video when I mentioned the additions, but this is probably the biggest move by the Vikings for sure. He used to play in purple and yellow, purple and gold, whatever you want to call it, back in college at LSU. Now he's here again today with the Vikings. And again, Patrick Peterson is getting up there in age, that's for sure, but he's still, I don't want to say a lockdown corner, but he can for sure hold his own at the number 1 spot, in my opinion, still to this day. We'll see as the age continues how he will hold his own, but in a pretty stout secondary with Harrison Smith and Xavier Woods, this Vikings team and Patrick Peterson will hold their own on defense. Like I said, pass rush is being acknowledged. Darwin Thompson's not going to go out there and get you 15 sacks by any means. That's just not who he is, but he was a hell of an addition, that's for sure. I already said the linebacker core. I already said the secondary. Overall, this Vikings team has the paper roster to do it. Looking at their schedule, that is going to be tough. They play the AFC North. That's 4 possible playoff teams. I don't think the Bengals are a playoff team just yet, but Joe Burrow's nothing to make fun of by any means, or nothing to just blow off by any means. Steelers, I don't know if they'll be playoffs either, but they still got a top 5 defense. Browns and Baker Mayfield, I think they're an AFC Championship type of team, and Lamar Jackson is still the most electric quarterback in the NFL to try and deal with. You also play the NFC West, so the Vikings got to play the 2 toughest divisions in the NFL, that's for sure. AFC North and the NFC West, who they themselves might have 4 playoff teams. Arizona Cardinals, getting J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, Kyler Murray, D-Hop, they might be a playoff team. We know Matt Stafford and the Rams, they're considered a Super Bowl contender. We know they're the playoffs. Russell Wilson, same thing. You don't want to blow him off by any means. He's definitely going to lead the Seahawks to a playoff team. And then, of course, a healthy 49ers, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Raheem Mostert, Jimmy G, all coming back. Whatever they do with their rookie quarterback, they still got Jimmy G to start and win games. These are tough teams for the Vikings to play. And even in your own division, you got to deal with the first, second, or third best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams. But Vikings, like I said, I believe they could do it. In your own division, Bears are a tough defense. Eddie Jackson, Khalil Mack, that is a tough team to deal with. Danny Trevathan, but losing the defensive coordinator Chuck Pagano, facing quarterback Andy Dalton, I refuse to believe the Vikings cannot sweep the Bears in the upcoming season. I think they could go 2-0 on them. I think they could go 2-0 on Jared Goff and the Lions, and I think they could steal a game from the Packers. They did it last year, and really the Vikings weren't even a great team last year. Like I said, they had some false hopes on the defense with injuries, so I think they could steal another game this year when they're at their peak. And that kind of sounds pretty bold to say, the Vikings are 5-1 in the division. I'm not sure about that because I don't think the Vikings will win their division, but 5-1 is not out of this realm for the Vikings. I think they can at worst. I don't say at worst. At worst, I think they go 3-3. Most realistic 4-2, but 5-1 is definitely possible. This Viking team needs to get some good wins in the division if they want to compete for the playoffs. NFC West, AFC North. If they could pull 2-2 out of both of those divisions, then you go 4-2 in your own division. You're already looking at 8 wins. Your 17th game against the Chargers. That's a tough game to go against with Justin Herbert emerging. But you got some other, I won't say okay games to deal with, but you also play the Panthers and Cowboys this season. Maybe if you beat those two, now you're looking at a 10-7 team that can make the playoffs. I mean, look at the Bears last year. They made it in at 8-8. Just overall, the schedule is stacked against them, but their roster is stacked just as much as well to hold their own. And I do think this team can then make the playoffs. I like Kirk Cousins. Like I said, he's above average quarterback, top half guy in the league. Darwin Cook, I think he wants to make it known that he is the best running back in the league. Justin Jefferson, he's only getting better. He's already probably a top 10, top 12 at worst receiver in the NFL already, being already a rookie. So top 12 receiver, good receiving core behind him, and a reliable Adam Thielen, a Irv Smith you believe in, and a Darwin Cook and Kirk Cousins. Like I said, the offense is stout. Defense, my only concern is health. Last year, I think the Vikings could have made the playoffs. I think they could have done better at 8-8 if they had a fully healthy roster, not losing Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr and Daniel Hunter. I don't know if they lost Daniel Hunter, but overall, injuries destroyed them last year, and I think Mike Zimmer, having a defensive minded, is going to be able to fix this defense up if healthy. They're going to be a top 8 defense, top 7 defense in the NFL when healthy. And at 14 overall, I have them going offensive line and Elijah Vera Tucker or Christian Darrisaw. But who's to say they don't want to add more to the defense, make it the absolute best linebacker core in the NFL, and pick up a Micah Parsons with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. Don't know if he'll be around, but it's a possibility. It's tempting. It's worth thinking about. Maybe you want to make the best secondary in the NFL. Pick up a J.C. Horn or a Caleb Farley to help out Pat Pete, Xavier Woods, and Harrison Smith. A lot of possibilities for the Vikings. I doubt they'll go, maybe if a Kwity Paye falls to 14, I doubt they'll go Gregory Rousseau or Jalen Phillips that early in the draft. To me, it's going to be offensive line or linebacker core or back or in the secondary. I'm thinking secondary or offensive line, but we have to see. I'm not the GM of the Vikings. I don't know what they think their biggest concern is. To me, you can't get enough protection for your quarterback ever, but all depends who falls. If some top talented dude falls, they might think Micah Parsons or J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain, whoever's around, is too good to pass up on, and that is why the draft is so exciting, because it could change so much and have so much impact on the following season. So overall, I seriously think this Vikings team can make the playoffs. They have it great on paper. We just need to see them execute it on the field. Tough schedule stacked against them, but like I said, they got the roster to back it up. We'll just have to see, and I do think the draft will be a big effect in how they play in this upcoming season. But comment down below your guys' thoughts. Do you think they'll make the playoffs? Do you think they'll win the division? That's always a possibility. I don't know if it'll happen. I don't think it will happen, but who knows? Comment down below your thoughts, like I said, and of course, who do you want to see them take in the NFL draft? Like I said, I want them to go either offensive line or secondary, but we will have to see. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in.